welcome back to the Skinsider, your podcast, all things skin and beauty.
Yeah, so excited.
And aesthetics. Since we're in the month of love, February, once again, I'm your host, Ashley Anderson. And this is Jacqueline Sargent. She actually has 2 last names. We're not sure which one to go by anymore. But
because I didn't change my last name after I got married. But I go by my husband's.
Is it a sentimental thing that you're wanting to hold on to? Because you can make it your middle name.
No, I'm just getting over, like, doing it is such a process. Like, I don't have time for that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk to you today about the perfect pair, which is our buzzword. Woo. So cheers to that. And her and I are the perfect pair.
Mm-hmm. It's not spicy today. It's good though.
Well, I had to walk in and be like, so do you have enchiladas today or this week? Because last week you were out. But cheers to him.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about kind of like medical grade skincare duos that work really well together to achieve your specific
tailored goals.
Need. Yeah. Yes. So we are going to be talking about, like, if you want, hydration and wrinkle reduction, or if you want brightening and moisture at the same time, like different products that you can pair together.
And make the perfect pair.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the lines, too, you can mix them all together and, like, put them on, and they're actually made to be mixed together. I don't like
I mix my products like that.
I don't do that. Yeah. People will make their little cocktail.
I do with the glycolic and the enzymatic peel, which is real tingly.
Oh, you're going harsh.
That's spicy.
Stingle.
Yeah.
That's the stingle.
It's a stingle one.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the next day everyone's like, wow, your skin looks so amazing. I'm like, thanks. It was my little cocktail.
Yeah. But one thing I just want to point out is the biggest mistake people make with layering their skincare is doing things in the wrong order. Like, I will have, I'll give someone a serum and they're like, okay, I put this on after my SPF. And I'm like, incorrect. Or, like, they'll put
SPF is always last.
Yeah, or, like, they'll put their SPF underneath their moisturizer, things like that. So it is just important that you also know what steps to be using.
Yes.
And,
so that it works.
Right. And all the lines, too, like, whoever your local esthetician is, or if you come to us, we have sheets drawn up, like AM and PM in the order of which to use things, or just have your person write it down for you, right? Like, put it on a little Post-it note on your mirror. Or we've numbered boxes before, too, like, or written out, because sometimes that's a big mistake that people
You could even like label underneath your bottle with a Sharpie if you wanted to, like 1, 2, 3, like however you want to do it.
If you don't want like a full sheet of paper.
Yeah, for the client. And we try to dumb it down as much as we can so that it is easy for them. And we have no problem going that extra mile for our clients to make sure that they are using their investment on skincare products in the way that they should.
Yes. So the first topic I'll bring up is if you really want to target anti-aging,
which everyone should.
That's
no matter
like one
what
of the big ones. Yeah, we get asked about that and brightening. So if you really, really, really want to target anti-aging, my favorite combination is going to be a retinol and a growth factor serum. Why are you laughing?
Because retinol. If you have tough skin, yes, I agree with retinols. But if you are more like a thinner skin, a little more aged skin, I would say is more delicate. That
mature.
I don't know if I like it for such matured skin.
Well, you don't necessarily have to use a retinol, or retinols. Not all retinols are the same with their delivery system. So you could use one that's encapsulated. You could use one that's time released. You could use one that's suspended in oil. Yeah. You could use, there's all different ones. Some will make you peel, some won't. Like the Radical Night Repair from Zigo Skin Health is a really heavy peel. For someone who really wants to peel, that's going to be, their choice. Or you could go with the Skin Better Science, the Intensive Alpha Ret. And you're not
and you
don't peel.
No.
But they're both retinols. Their delivery system is different.
I prefer the non-flaky ones, to be honest.
Yeah. And I don't mind a flake. I do not mind a flake from time to time. I like to do it. It just resets me. And
what if your flakes fall in your food?
Then I get this disgusting.
I mean, your skin is flaking off.
I will tell you guys a story.
It's true.
Side note, I went out. Shout out to my best friend Laura, because we went out one night. Also, shout out to the best restaurant that was ever in Miami that is now gone, El Tucan, R.I.P. But we were out one night, and I had been using Radical Night Repair like often. So these two gentlemen come up to us, and they're trying to talk to us, and we're, you know, married women and past our prime, so we're like, please leave. And politely, yes. But we were very politely, you know, showing our disinterest. And this man says to me, swear on my life, he says to me, okay, but before I walk away, can I just get the dead skin off of your nose? One, I'm like, well, don't touch me. But two, I'm like, yes, I know it's there. Because I don't mind it. I love a good flake. And then after I go through an intense kind of retinol time, I get a lot of compliments on my skin. Yeah, I was trying to use like a good word. I get a lot of compliments on my skin. People say it looks nice. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, retinols are not for everyone either. Right. So it's it's my personal opinion about a retinol and what I feel. I also do indulge in the sun at time to time, and I do feel like it kind of can leave a little pigment on my face. And
because you're more sun sensitive when you're using it, so you have to be really careful.
I'm
Carry your
careful
retinol with SPF. But I'm not I don't go in the sun. So, I do, but I wear a ton of sunscreen. So like, it doesn't. There's sunscreen in my bag right now. There's always. I
do have one in my bag too, right here.
Our pickleball bags.
Oh yeah,
we have pickleball after this.
Yeah.
So your retinol can be whatever you want, but even during the like last night I used Alpha Ret. Mm-hmm. Like I use the intensive Alpha Ret from Skinsider, which doesn't make you peel anytime I don't want the aggressive peel.
Yeah.
But then I up it with a peel. But anyways, back to the growth factor serum,
which is amazing.
Growth factors. I said serum because I like a serum because it goes into the skin more. So
penetrates more.
Yeah, our top selling one is the Zeo Skin Health Growth Factor Serum. They have one for the face. They have one for the eyes. Really popular, nice consistency. This one's also a humectant, and it's a functional moisturizer, and it helps your body create its own moisture on its own too. So that's also a nice replenishment for someone who's on a heavier retinol.
Okay. All right.
But if you want to go that route, go that route. And again, I know we touched on this last week, but if you are someone who needs a lot of moisture and a stronger lipid barrier, I think combining a hyaluronic acid and a ceramide moisturizer, like we talked about last week, the triple lipid, has ceramides, fatty acids, cholesterol. I think mixing that with a hyaluronic acid
is good
to reset your
prior
skin. If you have
to putting it on, cracked, or putting the hyaluronic acid on first, then putting a moisturizer. Always. So not combining them and mixing them together.
No, I like to put the hyaluronic acid on, let it dry, and then I'll put like a moisturizer or something over it.
That's another thing. A lot of people do not give their products time to kind of absorb or dry into the skin, and then they just layer another one on top and on top. But you have to give it a little bit of time.
Yes.
For it to absorb in.
Do something else in the meantime. Yeah. Go put on your pajamas or go get dressed for the day. Brush your teeth. Get your lunch ready to go to work. Like there's steps, there's things that you do in the morning because people say, I don't have time to let it dry. Well, you have to get dressed. You have to put your shoes on. You're doing things that you can be doing in between letting your skincare dry.
Or buy just a little handheld fan too and keep your real quick. I have an answer for everything. Yeah. I really do.
She really does.
I will solve all your problems.
Yes. Like there's been so many times like I'll say something like, how am I supposed to, and like you have an answer and you're like, how do you get through the day? I'm like, I don't know. My mind doesn't work like that, I guess. I don't know how I get through the day, but I do.
I just have an answer for everything. Yeah. And I need to know everything too. Yeah, I ask a lot. I ask a lot of questions.
You're inquisitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like a toddler. likes to know everything that's happening.
I am so nosy.
Yes.
But like not nosy in a bad way.
I'm nosy.
I'm nosy in like a good way. I mean, I don't need to know everything, but like...
Oh, I do.
I'm observant.
I'm nosy.
I'm very observant, and I can... Like, I noticed something on Instagram yesterday. I'm not going to even talk about it, but I reached out and I texted somebody else, and I was like, so did blah, blah, blah.
Get divorced?
Yeah. And
I knew it.
She was like, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I was like, well, I just seen something posted on Instagram. Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, like a cryptic Instagram post. Like, I will. No, I am nosy. Like, even if, like, things that don't pertain to me, like, I can be in my house and hear, like, my neighbor, like, yelling at their kid. And I'm like, what'd you do? And I like, the TV goes on mute. I'm up by the window. I gotta know.
Well, there's, like, Julie yesterday goes, there was an undercover cop outside across the street of our house. And I said, okay. He goes, it was an undercover cop. And I was like, okay, did you go up to the door and just say, hey, I'm new around here. Should I be worried about anything on the street? And he's like, no, I didn't go up to them. I'm like, well, then don't even say anything to me. I would have been up at the window. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're making me feel very uncomfortable. I need to know what's happening.
I'm definitely a nosy person. And I don't know, does Juvie do this? Because Chris does this. Chris is awful at relaying a story.
Oh, no, I think I've referenced this before. Story.
No, you are pretty bad. She'll tell me a problem at work in the middle of the story. And be like, so what do we do because this person X, Y, and Z? And I'm like,
can you start from the beginning? I feel like
there's an entire beginning of this story that I was not told. And there usually is. And I'm like, can you... And then you and Elizabeth do it. And I'm like, can you guys just start at the beginning of the story? Because I don't know. How am I supposed to advise on something if I'm getting 50% of the story? Yeah. But no, Chris
I'm a horrible storyteller.
Horrible at relaying things. Like, he'll go out with a friend that's like going through something, you know, like a divorce or something. And when he comes home, I want to know why and what happened. And he'll come home and be like, oh yeah, they split up. Thank you. I know that. Why? She left. Why did she leave? Like, the people need to know. I know people can relate to this. I know so many of you agree. Like, nosy people unite.
Well, it's like Juvie will tell me I'm nosy, but then I catch him and he's just as nosy as I am.
No,
and I'm
Chris
like,
is not
who's
nosy.
calling the kettle black here?
Chris is not nosy. Chris will be like, it's not your business. And I'm like,
oh, no, see, yeah, we both got
First of all, I make it my business. Second of all, it is now. No, he'll be like, it's not my business. Or like, if I'm like, well, did you ask? He's like, of course I didn't ask. I'm like, why didn't you ask? He's like, because it's not our business. And I'm like, oh.
I mean, there are some things you don't ask.
Oh,
it's like 100%. You read the room to not know 100%. What to ask.
Yes.
But sometimes, yeah, you just got to know. But I'll find out. I'll find anything out. I'm a great investigator.
Yeah. Nosiest person I've ever heard about was not me or anyone I know, but my college roommate was telling me, so they are Jewish, so when someone passes away, they sit Shiva. And they're, you know, where they stay in their home.
They do, yeah.
Cover the mirrors. And so she got a call from a neighbor that was like, is everything okay? You know, I haven't seen you guys. And she's like, oh, well, my grandmother passed away, so we've been sitting Shiva in the house. And all of a sudden it's dawning on her, this woman lives like a couple streets over in the neighborhood. So she's like, we wouldn't pass each other. Like, I'm not blocking the entrance. Like, and the woman even says to her, like, oh yeah, I like to look with my binoculars out every night. And I realize like your house is pretty dark. I haven't seen any movement. And so my college roommate like, tells me this story, and I'm like, it made me feel so much better. Because I'm like, okay, I'm not that bad. I don't have binoculars
out there.
No, but could you believe that?
No.
She was like dumbfounded. She was
I hope she was on the neighborhood watch list. I hope she was the head of the committee.
She's watching. She's watching. Back to
the perfect pairs.
Perfect pairs.
Cheers again. We got off topic.
Yeah, we got it.
It's because we're nosy.
Okay. This is a good one for those that are dealing with pigment issues.
Okay. Which is a lot of people, especially in Florida.
Heat, man. The heat just...
And the older we get, the more our age spots start to come out as well, which is pigmentation.
So whenever we do IPLs, this is always what I recommend. to just stay on as a regimen, some type of preventative like vitamin C antioxidant treatment and a good SPF.
Okay.
Literally on my way over here, I was late to the podcast because I was doing this with someone that we were touching up an IPL and then discussing, you know, how she can protect the investment.
Correct, which is huge.
And she's a tennis player, avid tennis player, takes lessons every single day, plays tennis 7 days a week. And so she's constantly battling with pigment issues. So just for example, what she walked away with was the Alto Advanced from Skin Better Science.
The
Alto Advanced Defense. This is
product.
your favorite, yeah. And she left with the Zeo Skin Health sunscreen and primer because that's a melanocyte inhibitor. And so when you're putting it on, you know, even when your potency of your SPF goes down, you're still helping prevent melanocytes.
I like the
texture
texture of that SPF.
She loved it too. I gave her like a sample of it to try.
It's
first.
very creamy.
She was like, "This is perfect," and then she could put her other sunscreen on top of it because it works as a primer as well. So when I use it like as a primer, I'll put it on and then I'll put on my Revision, the IntelliShade that I like, on top of that and build it.
Ooh.
But always be,
thick.
you know, be using something. Oh, I love it.
Ugh.
Protect.
I know, but I just hate having so much on my face.
I know, I don't mind. No, I don't feel it.
But you let it dry, though.
I have anything.
Remember, you also let it dry.
But I don't feel like I have anything on. I feel like it looks really nice.
No, absolutely it doesn't. But for me, it's maybe that's a little bit of like an autism thing that I have with like the way things feel on my skin.
You have autism?
I feel
we're
like
gonna have to cut this out.
I don't have.
Let me just like
everybody has a little bit. I mean, come on.
No, they don't. Where were we? I'm gonna have to take a sip and then pick back up.
Then what would you call it when like I don't like certain textures?
Yeah,
or
you
like
just have like a textural thing.
Okay, so then it's a texture thing. I don't like to have a lot of thick, like a foundation. You'll never catch me wearing foundation.
There's gonna be like a break in this where it's just like, and then like we're like, we pick back up. Okay.
Even when we get our makeup done for photo shoots or like weddings or anything, I tell them, you will put the minimal amount of foundation on my skin.
Yeah, I don't like foundation. I
don't like that thick
I'll do
layers.
a tinted moisturizer.
Yes.
That's what I wear every day, but I don't wear foundation.
Yeah.
It's not good for your skin.
No, it's not.
It drives me crazy. And then people will say that when I try and get them off of it, and they're like, yeah, but I have to cover my breakouts and my this and my that. And I'm like, fix the problem. Stop buying the $70 department store foundation and invest that money
into the skincare products that you need so you don't have to wear the foundation.
Correct. Like, you're just in a vicious cycle.
We're here to fix all your skin problems.
You're in a vicious cycle if you don't do that. If you don't. And speaking of acne, here's a perfect pair for
acne.
Salicylic acid. So
amazing.
going in your cleansers, just a spot treatment, anything like that, mixed with a niacinamide.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, it's going to calm down that redness and that inflammation, but it's also going to help brighten because a lot of people who have acne end up with pigment issues.
Yes.
And acne scarring and things like that.
Which fractional lasers are great for that.
Yeah, and you could always pair it with a retinol too if you want to. Like Zeo Skin Health now has the retinol and acne combo.
Together.
The Alpha Ret Clearing Serum is the same thing from Skin Better Science. There's a lot of products now where they're trying to bundle things together. They're trying to minimize your lineup of product application. And they're combining these things together.
Which is great.
Because they know
you're mixing them on your face anyways and putting them on there. Why not put them together?
Right.
I mean, I get the price of the product is a little bit more. But you end up spending less
in the long run. Yeah. That's what I say about the Revision, the IntelliShade Matte. It's my moisturizer, my sunscreen, and my makeup. So yes, it's like $80-something, but
and how often do you go through it?
It's my moisture,
replenish it.
Months.
So break it down.
I probably get
3 months, 80. I mean, you're at
because a little bit goes a long way of it. So really, realistically, I probably get 2 a year. So like $175 at the end of the day is probably what it is after tax and everything. But For that, I'm like, oh, who cares?
Yeah, it's
That's
like
perfect.
$1.33 a day if you use it in 60 days.
60 days? No, I use one. Like, I use 2 a year.
Oh, well then, it's like pennies.
Yeah. I use literally like 2
Girl math, it's
a year. Maybe a little over 2 a year. I mean, it goes for such a long way. But it's 3 products in one. Mm-hmm. I'm not buying a foundation. That's my daily moisturizer. And it's my SPF, 1, 2, 3.
If I could fix the world problems, I would eliminate foundation from the world.
I mean, I would probably start with like hunger and war. But
I'm talking about skincare problem, like make that kind of like problem.
I'm like, to each their own.
Well,
yeah,
happening. I mean, I definitely would help in a lot of other areas, but I'm saying with the skincare world, I would try to ban foundation.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you could ever educate your clients to, is like, just don't wear foundation.
And it kills me when these lines, like when you go into Sephora and Ulta and places like that, all these skincare lines that make all this skincare sell foundation. I'm like, why do you need to? Mm-hmm. Shouldn't you?
And then they have like so many chemicals in them. And you remember, you guys, skin is your largest living organ outside of your body that absorbs everything and anything that you put on it. Topical, no matter what it is, it's absorbed into your bloodstream and into your body.
Another question I get asked a lot about pairing is from those in our like demographic, like our age group. And they'll say, okay, for 30s and 40s, what should I really be focusing on? What should I really be using? And I tell them peptides.
It's human growth factor.
And retinol.
Yeah.
That's just always my response is peptides and retinol. And peptides are really taking
How often
off.
do you tell them to use the retinol, though?
Depends on what type of retinol it is, because some can be used every night, some cannot.
Excuse me.
Like, I also really like the DEJ Night.
I like that one. That one doesn't ever make me really flake.
Because it's a 0.25, but it's also time release. Again, it's the delivery system. Some products have a very elegant usage to it, and some take you down a bumpy road to get there, and the result could be different. It could be the same. So that's something that you have to consult about.
Also, why not every skincare product is for every skin type.
Right.
And that's why you have to consult and do. Yeah. Trial and error.
Like, there are people that will give themselves a medical grade peel with Radical Night Repair. And they like that. They'll buy it and they'll use that whole thing in like 10 days. Because they want an aggressive peel, and then they reset. And listen, they're saving money. They're spending $200 versus, $450. So they see it as like a steal.
And if they're a little confused about like the peeling situation, I know probably some people might be like, well, why are we peeling? Why do we want our skin to peel? You're made of millions of layers of skin, and you want that dead skin because over time it starts to accumulate, and that's what makes you dull. That's what creates the breakouts and different things. You want to shed those layers of skin just like a snake does. Honestly, we are human and we need to shed the skin. And you better retinol it.
Yeah, and you better retinol it. But those are
so it's okay to peel and it's okay to shed it. You want to, because it gives the release of the new virgin skin underneath.
Yes. And speaking of peptides, I have a new favorite peptide serum.
If we don't carry it, don't talk about it.
We do carry it. I'm just kidding. The Skinceuticals PTOX.
You do like that one. It is a good one. I put it all over my face.
It is, yes, all over the face. It gives
I even
you
put it on my eyelids.
Skin. Oh, it is so beautiful. It gives you glass-like skin and radiance. I'm going to get another one too. In 1 week. The turnaround on that thing is fast. And when I tell you, no, I love it. I have not sold a bottle of that didn't get replenished. Okay. Every single person who has bought it has purchased another. I just did a facial on someone this morning, and she was like, I am repurchasing that product. Again. That was the most amazing thing you've given me yet.
So why don't you do like a little testimony on our Instagram about it?
She loves me to create content. Like, I'm not doing that right now.
Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want her to start doing any content. Because she needs to.
I'm so bad about social media. Like,
but
my
she's
own
so good
life.
when she gets on and starts talking about like the machine or the product, and I mean she knows it in and out, and you're good at it.
And to me, that's what I do, like in the room,
right? So we'll just record. We'll just book an appointment and record you the whole time, and have you run through the whole spiel with us, and how you do it. But I mean, I think those perfect pairs, truthfully, because you only had how many? 3 of them that you wanted to go through?
I had a bunch. I had them all.
Do you have another little page?
Not really.
Okay.
Just reminding everyone has their own perfect pairing.
Yeah.
So reach out to your person.
Your provider.
You know, reach out to your provider. Talk to them about it. Figure out.
Tell them
go
your concerns.
over your goals. Yes.
What you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
goals.
if you had a magic wand and you could correct your skin right now, what would you do? Okay, it's our job to reverse engineer that and get you there.
And it's doable. Extremely doable.
It is. When people are like, I want to have nice skin, I'm like, you can.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is an investment. So I also highly encourage
and patience.
Talking about your budget too. Because if you're giving your provider a realistic budget to work with, they're gonna prioritize the best possible thing for you to either receive treatment-wise or to walk out the door with. Because sometimes if I don't know, that somebody has a budget, maybe I wouldn't be so focused on, these 3 products. I'd be like, okay, let's start with this one here, right? But instead I'm trying to package everything together because I just think I'm getting you to your goal.
Right.
But if it's not realistic for your budget, it just helps us to know that. And that's perfectly fine. We can still get you there and get you to where you want to be. So I always say have that open and truthful communication so we know what we're working with. I always stress that.
I agree. I'm definitely all about it. And did you mention like bringing stuff too that they're currently?
Oh, I like when people do that. Yeah, I like when people bring their current products.
Just let them know if it's something that you can continue using, or maybe it doesn't mix well with what we're suggesting to you to achieve
and I'm
your goals.
if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality. Mm-hmm. So like, just because we don't sell something, if you love your moisturizer and you come in and you're showing me all your stuff and you're like, oh, is this moisturizer not good? I'm like, well, do you like it? Yes, it does what it says it's going to do. It makes my skin feel really great. Use it. You're sitting here giving me this testimony about how good it is. It doesn't matter if we sell it or not. We're not doing this all just for profit. Like, I'm doing it to get you the result that you want. Right. So if you're loving this one product and you're telling me it's doing everything that it says it's going to, stick with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
So there's this new product line that has come out.
Oh, here we go.
It's obviously a pyramid type thing, I think.
Oh, is this the people, the olive people?
Olive Veda, is that what it's called?
I don't know. Something that olive tree people.
And it's basically all olive oil that's in their products.
I don't know.
I was just wondering.
At that point, I don't know much about it. People have asked me like if I've heard of it, but I haven't really looked into it because then they're always saying it's like pyramid schemey. So I'm like, well,
I know like olive oil is good for the skin.
Sure, but go to Trader Joe's and
pure olive oil, like back in the day in Italy. I mean, they did use olive oil, but those are the purest extracts of olive oil that you possibly can get. You can't really get that pure olive oil here unless you're importing it.
Right.
It's been shipped to you or you've brought it back with you from a trip. So, yeah, I mean, if you can get your hands on some pure olive oil.
Listen, I am Greek. I got enough olive oil coming out of the skin.
Yeah, which is good.
I don't need it.
You're lucky. People that have oily skin are very lucky because it's minimized with wrinkles.
Well, because we have a natural lipid barrier, like we were talking about. If you don't have that, you have to create one. Mm-hmm. But even if you have oil, still moisturize.
Still get on that moisture.
Yeah, still be moisturizing. You can use a lighter moisturizer during the day, and you can use a heavier one at night, or you can use a light one all the time but still be moisturizing. You will thank me in the long run.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. So next couple of weeks we will be off. This is our little winter break.
We're having just a minor little break.
But then we will be back. And
we're going to be back with speaking on the GLP-1 weight loss.
Mm-hmm. We give a ton of questions about this. So many. So if you have questions about it, submit it and we'll answer them on the next one.
And what we feel services to kind of pair when you've reached your weight loss journey.
Or you have excess skin.
And stubborn fat.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go over a couple services that pair well with that. And scientifically, we'll go into it a little bit more with you and see what best service fits you in your journey. But until then, love your skin.